Hey guys, I'm here. Rupert's here, aren't you, Rupert? And we are going to show you a level 24 dungeon for my Blackfathom Deep run using Baron. Just want to show you the end screen. This is the end screen right here. The reason I'm showing you the end screen is that actually during the recording, my screen recorder gave in the final boss, and I didn't manage to capture the win moment. So I just want to show you, this is the claim reward section. This is the deck that I used. So it is Baron, Safe Pilot, Harpies, Defias Bandits, Stonehoof Tauren, Blackrock Pyromancer, and Quillbore. Why have I got everything out of slot? To make it lower level, because I've got epics, so they would all be level 26. So it would be really easy to do this level without talents if they're all level 26. So I made everything level 23, which is below the level 24 level, and that kind of ended up making it a bit more challenging for me. And so the reason we've got certain units in is Safe Pilot, really important for the first level, also really important for chip damage on the bosses, and also equally important for blowing up groups of enemies on the second level. Harpies, because of the best boss damage. Defias Bandits to cycle. We have Stonehoof Tauren because it is absolutely necessary on the first boss and on the second boss to have some kind of tank that can get in and especially deal damage to towers. We have Blackrock Pyromancer because it is invaluable in defense on the second and third level. It's not as valuable on the first level, but it's still pretty good. And then we have Quillbore because that's really important for unbound tanking on certain levels as well. And I'm just going to show you, going to skip forward, claiming the rewards for the first time on that level. So I just wanted to show you that, just in case you were like, oh, but Excoundrel, I didn't see you actually kill the boss at the end. Yeah, unfortunately my recording gave in, but I did have the foresight to record me actually claiming the rewards for beating this level and showing you the deck that I was able to do it with. So we're going to jump in and do some reviews of the actual boss fights now. Unfortunately, the screen recording was of a run where I didn't actually beat the final boss. It was the run before I beat the final boss, but I came like within 5 seconds. And I realized, the only reason I realized is when I was reviewing the recording, I took a different relic on the second boss to the one that I did on the win. So when you watch this, I took Glitter Grinder as a second relic, but you want to take if you get offered to it, if you get a copy of my run, you want to take the Whistle talent where you spawn Skeleton Mages when you spawn your leader. Either way, the deck was the same, and I showed you me completing the final boss and getting the reward for it, so it is possible with this deck, but you're just going to see the screen recording from a run that I did where I didn't quite beat the final boss, which is kind of annoying. But then I've shown you the me claiming the reward, so it's possible with this deck. And the tactics remain the same, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm not going to show you a talent run in this video. I do not have time. I'm going to go hang out with the family for Christmas, but I will come and do that at a later date, so you guys can see how you can push your levels further if you have access to talents. But this deck still works with talents as well, so feel free to try it out. So we're going to jump in. Now we take the Light Feather talent, even though it's not a great selection of talents. We had the double damage but half health, and the recently nerfed Black Whelp Tunic talent. But we took the Harpies Light Feather talent because Harpies are an integral unit to this deck, so getting 1 extra shield on them to help prevent against a big basic attack, especially when we've got single target monsters or single target bosses, is a really big deal. So that's why I went for that. I can't remember if this is the one that I lost or won. Okay, so this is the one that I won. Right. Spawn Baron over to the right-hand side. We're going to spawn Defias Bandits to get the double chests going on here. You have to use Safe Pilot on this group of Murlocs. Basically non-negotiable. It's the only real thing that we have to deal with those Murlocs in the deck right now. I'm going to spawn Harpies directly behind our Baron. Now, we were a little lucky. Well, a little unlucky, I guess, in this sense that we lost all of our Harpies to an Ogre Mage. This is one of the worst possible starts that I could have. Ogre Mage spawning on this side behind the tower is a bit of a nuisance, but what we have got is a Safe Pilot that was able to take out the Ogre Mage and still continue to hit that tower, so we managed to come away with at least that tower going slightly in our favor. We've gone for a big defense, and we have yet another set of Murlocs spawned. We've got to get a Safe Pilot onto them, so we are going to spawn or just cycle out our Kobold Miner. And we also have both of our chests spawning again now as well. Unfortunately, we've got to retake this tower. So we're going to spawn a Quillbore in anticipation, and then obviously get our Harpies over towards the tower once again. Bit of a nuisance that we have, again, got a Ogre Mage coming towards our Harpies. They are the biggest problem that we're going to have as Harpies here. But nonetheless, we managed to actually get them past with the Light Feather talent. And I'm going to pause it right here. That's a really, really important part of Light Feather. Ogre Mage was attacking the tower, but we actually managed to get past the tower, absorb the AoE with Light Feather, and that's meant that our Harpies have been able to take out the Ogre Mage, and then we're going to turn around and take that tower once again. This tower is the most important tower because it's the one that lets us launch most of our attacks. On the left-hand side, we're not actually that bothered. The only reason that tower is useful is for spawning a kobold to go and get those gold mines. Now we're going to do a quillbore over here next to these murlocs. That's just to buy a bit of time and prevent a bit of base damage for the time being. That murloc will chip away at our base, which is a really, really huge deal. So we kind of just have to, again, respawn our safe pilot on top of it to make sure that it goes down. Now there is a big gold mine that I really should be taking, which I am, which is nice. We're going to do it once the tower on the right has activated on our Baron. Why are we doing that? Because that tower will attack our kobold. That's the really annoying thing. That tower will actually attack our kobold and will stop it from mining. That's why you kind of need to take that side tower on the right, because it gives you access to the most gold. We spawn a safe pilot to deal with those murlocs at the top here, and now we're going to look for one of our final pushes on the boss, at least our big push on the boss. We're going to allow the safe pilot to get a bit of damage down, and we're going to hopefully then turn the boss around onto our quillbore and look to get as much damage as possible done on this push. We are then going to try and obviously go for the side chests, but as you can see here, we are starting to have that murloc attack our base again, so chipping away on the damage. There's a huge amount of damage done on that first push, but you know, it's not enough to actually go for the win here. It's very important that we kind of keep this tower alive. So this Tauren's probably going to take the tower, but we will take it back pretty much instantaneously. And it's not a bad thing that we've got to turn around and hit the tower, because frankly, we're going to have to deal with these murlocs and this ogre mage anyway. So you can see here, that's what I'm doing. I have to deal with this murloc and these ogre mage. We've got two safe pilots coming in towards the boss. We're going to try and cycle out to another set of harpies. That's what we're kind of looking to do here. We want to cycle out to another set of harpies. Our skeletons are actually dealing with the chests for us for the time being, but the most important thing is just cycling out to another set of harpies, because we need to kind of get harpies going towards the boss. We're going to spawn a load of like frontline to begin with, to hopefully have things distracting. We are now in overtime, so once that murloc starts to go, this is probably going to be the last push of the game for us. We're going to try and get as much of the chests as we can. We are going to deal with these murlocs pretty much instantaneously using the safe pilot. We're going to spawn our miner, and then we are going to start with the harpies here. And you can see we are going to clean up pretty much everything very quickly. We were very close to going down, but we are now looking for the final push. So we're going to jump in. Harpies are going in. We have our safe pilot. We are trying to protect our base from the murlocs that are really a big nuisance. You know the ones I mean, the ones that walk over towards the top of the base and start hitting you. But we are basically like one shot from killing this murloc. So we want to essentially cycle out to safe pilot at this point. So we cycle out to safe pilot, and we get the job done. Boom. Pretty good. That was... You guys will probably make the same... Interestingly enough, what I would actually take Bone Whistle here, by the way, guys, because I just realized this recording is from the recording that I did before I actually won. I would take Bone Whistle, primarily because Bone Whistle actually really helps and is the most useful. I know that the leveling up of the minis is good too, but both of those are good relics. But Bone Whistle is actually really important, especially for the second map. So I would actually take Bone Whistle. I think I end up taking Glitter Grinder on this particular run, but on the run that I actually won this with, I took Bone Whistle. So, on this level, what you want to do is you need to immediately deal with the threats. Usually you're sent like a gargoyle plus a load of stuff. And that's where Blackrock Pyromancer really comes in useful. Blackrock Pyromancer is elemental damage. It also has splash damage, so you can deal with the stuff that gets stacked up behind the boss. We're going to go for this tower as a priority. The reason being is that this tower is kind of a nuisance for people launching attacks at the base. So we're going to use Harpies, Blackrock Pyromancer, and Baron to go for this tower. And because we're actually quite slow, Blackrock Pyromancer is going to start to actually put pressure on stuff that's spawning behind the gargoyle, which is really nice, because then we can then use Safe Pilot to clean up the rest, and then we end up taking this tower very quickly. After this tower is down, the priority ends up being the tower on the side, and that's a very easy tower to take, because all you do is you spawn Harpies, and then you spawn a Quillbore behind the tower. So you're going to see me do it here. This is a really, really simple tower to take with Harpies, and so ends up being a very quick and easy pickup for me on this side of the map. The only problem that we're going to have is that thing, Drake. Drake is the biggest threat to our entire strategy. in its entirety. Now, unfortunately, Safe Pilot doesn't one-shot a Quillbore that is one level higher than it, which is really annoying. So that Quillbore actually ended up surviving this, which is super, super annoying. But we do end up going very quickly for this tower again. And actually, even though it does get a respawn on it, we have Harpies and we have Quillbore there, so it ends up cleaning up the majority. We are, with Harpies and the distraction of a Safe Pilot, able to take the Drake down. And now we have the two most important towers in the game pretty much taken care of. And now it's just a case of launching an attack, probably with Harpies and with Quillbore, on the boss once more. This is really easy once you're at this position. It's so easy, you're not going to get attacked from right next to your base, and it is just a simple case of, again, making sure you maximize the Harpy pressure on the base. You can see here that my Pyromancer is very good at dealing with stuff behind the Gargoyle, and then obviously the Gargoyle's not going to attack, but we are so close to beating the boss. At this point, it's just a case of cycling Safe Pilots on top of it. We can usually outcycle the enemy relatively easily. I'm going to spawn the Harpies here, just because, you know, felt like it was possible to go for the win in that sense, but realistically it is just one Safe Pilot away from going down, so we are just waiting to cycle out to Safe Pilot, and then we Safe Pilot the boss, and it should be dead. Nearly dead. Well, we're going to have to then go for a Quillbore. Either way, we can cycle to another Safe Pilot. Wow, that boss has got a lot of HP. We could have cycled to another Safe Pilot and it would have been fine. So there we go, 1 hit and 2 hit, and there we go, we win. So there's double cycle and it ends up being okay. We're going to skip forward a little bit here. We go for Unstable Concoction because the rest of them are not particularly good in this scenario. And then we go to this boss. So, right, so we're in it now. So what you want to do on this boss is, there's a very simple tactic, and frankly, it is just go down the left-hand side, kill the left head, ensure that you get that left tower before you do anything else. So take that left tower as a priority, and once that tower's taken, you can take the right-hand side head and then the final head that's up above the tower as well. We're going to drop a Safe Pilot on its head here. We're then going to spawn Harpies with our Stonehoof Tauren. This is only single target, so the Harpies are going to take this down super quickly. We're then going to use a Quillbore right behind that tower with a mass amount of minis that we still have available and ready to go. And then we are going to essentially try and take this. Hello, my lovely. We're going to try and take this tower. But unfortunately, with the Murloc Tidehunters that spawned there, we were not able to do so. But that's okay. We just want to make another push happen. We're going to use our Blackrock Pyromancer in conjunction with our Stonehoof Tauren here. Just want to get that tower down. And once that tower's down, we kind of open up the map to kind of do whatever we want. So that's why we're sending Baron over here as well. We are just wanting to get the tower down as quickly as possible. And once that tower's down, it just gives us so much control over the map. And you can see here that we have now taken it down. And once that's down, our priority can become the side head and the head above that as well. So we're going to spawn Quillbore here. We want our Harpies to kind of get there without getting poisoned. This is a boss that does a little bit of AoE damage on the floor. So you just want to make sure that your Harpies are getting a bit of unbound tanking in their place. The stun comes through from our Defias Bandits. Is another reason that we love them. And we actually get a clean kill or a clean takedown on that boss, which is really, really nice. Safe Pilot, really great location. Unfortunately, one of the Harpies did not get picked off, but we managed to clear out most of that attack. And we have another situation where Harpies are going to be absolutely monstrous at taking down this head. So that's what we're going to do here. Harpies going to jump in. Going to do a load of damage, but unfortunately it did chain a load of damage now. So it got a lot of poison on the head, but yeah, not enough to secure us the takedown. But nonetheless, did quite a bit of damage, and that's good. We are now going to just have to reset and recycle to go for this head. And once you take this head down, it's actually the second part of this phase is actually a lot easier in my opinion, because you can essentially just swarm the bosses, and it becomes easy in that sense to kind of get away with it. So you can see here we actually lose the tower, but we're not going to lose it for very long, simply because there are no anti-air units, and my Harpies are just going to basically clean things up. So Harpies end up cleaning that up once again. Going to retake it with Baron if I can. Going to drop a Safe Pilot on their head. And this is one of the reasons that this run actually failed. So as I said, I'm actually showing you a recording of a run that I didn't actually win, which is really annoying. This recording was the run before I ended up winning. But you're going to see it's so close that it doesn't matter. And also, I showed you at the start of the game that we were able to beat this with this particular deck. We just didn't manage to record the actual run that won, which is really annoying. So what you want to do now when you're at this stage of the game is, again, you want to use your core water tank as much as possible. Ideally, you want to build up a pretty sizable army before you get to the boss. You kind of want to focus the left and then the right-hand side first. So that's why you have these left and right-hand side lanes. You kind of want to focus one side and then focus the other. One of the things that I'm not doing on this particular run is using my Blackrock Pyromancer as much as I potentially should be. Blackrock Pyromancer is just very good in this scenario. So we're going to take that left-hand side head. Now, I probably would have one if I'd just kind of had a cool water tank for these harpies, because if I kept these harpies alive, we would have been in a really good spot. And you can see here that we're going to use that cool ball this time round. It's going to tank up that head. And I think we end up taking it down, which is really nice. And now we kind of need to go for the right-hand side head as well. We don't have a lot of gold, and one of the things that I'm not doing is actually going to check back on that original gold mine, because that original gold mine has a lot of gold in it. And I'm going to use a double-sided... there we go, we are actually doing it. I'm going to use a two attack safe pilot to try and go for this. The Blackrock Pyromancer is doing a huge amount of work here, but we only have 17 seconds to go until we can take down that final head. Again, it's very close. This would have been, if I'd just played slightly better at the end here, this would have been super easy. But as I said before, I'm going to re-show you. I did manage to beat this run with this deck, with this setup. I just took Bone Whistle instead of taking All That Glitters. But I will show you again, just to make sure that you guys don't think I'm taking the mickey. I love you, darling. Just so you guys don't think I'm taking the mickey. You can see here that we did win with this particular... I'll show you. Where is it gone? We did win with this particular deck. And we did claim the reward. It just wasn't that particular run that I recorded. But you can see how close it was anyway, and the strategy still makes this is still the same. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And yeah, I will show you a talent version at a later date. Unfortunately, Christmas calls, and I have to go around to my parents' house and go and see them for Christmas. So hope you guys all have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon.